opportunity. My name is Clementine Tsvetanov, and I am one of the Insight organizer in Cyprus with my husband Krasimir Tsvetanov. And first of all, I'd like to say just a few words about Insight Seminar for those of you who don't know what is Insight. So Insight is a worldwide non-profitable organization who has more than 40 years of experience and more than 30 countries around the world, and more than 1.5 million participants. And Insight is an educational program that provides tools and program to raise the awareness, the loving, the personal accountability, and to give an experience so individuals can have an outstanding life, an extraordinary life. Insight is also part of a global community of people who already has participated to Insight seminar. So one of the reasons why we decided to organize this event tonight and for the following event that we're gonna have also online is there is a lot of things going on at the moment all around the world. In Cyprus, we are closed in our house. People are losing their job. There is a lot of economical question also of people are to get some kind of money from the government, especially self-employed people. In France, there is a lot of things also going on. As I was sharing last time, my grandmother was explaining me that she cannot leave her house without going with one paper saying where she lives, because she cannot go far away from her house. In England, the corona cases are rising. In Barcelona, it's getting worse. So there is a lot of fear going on. And most of us, we have guidelines. I believe all of us, we have guidelines about staying apart of each other. And slowly there is like a wall, an isolation that is being created, a separation between the people. And so we decided to create something positive from this experience that we all facing today, all of these challenges we are facing today. So we ask facilitator from inside, from all over the world, to support us in this effort. And of course, they accept and they are willing to serve. And again, tonight, we will talk more about Ofer afterwards. Ofer is coming to serve and to support us in this effort. So tonight is my pleasure to have with me Ofer Weissmann. So Ofer is an Israeli and US citizen. He has a degree in psychology and is also an Insight facilitator and community director, for Israel. It's been involved in Insight since the first Insight seminar in Israel, which was in 1995. And today is working as a consultant for statistics software and business intelligence for insurance and utility companies. And Ofer has been very supportive for us in Cyprus from the very beginning. He's coming all the time to support us, giving workshop and helping us to build a community in Cyprus. So thank you very much, Ofer, to be with us tonight and sharing a little bit more about your awareness and knowledge.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you, Clementine. Just a few words about myself. You know, people were wondering a lot, how does psychology go with statistics and consulting? So, you know, I'm glad I got my degrees in psychology, but I was always into programming and statistics. And in a way, you know, it's kind of combining the soft areas with mathematics and with a very structured world. So there is the world of psychology, emotions, and so on, and then there is the world of programming, where everything is very clear, everything is very mental. And I enjoy both sides. And I think that, you know, I was thinking about it, that one of the things that I really liked about Insight, and maybe the reason that I got so involved, is that the Insight seminar for me was a very nice combination. On the one hand, there was work on growth and spiritual work and emotional work that I enjoyed. But on the other hand, there were very, very specific and practical tools for changing life, for creating the life that I love to live. So the combination of those is for me Insight.
Right, thank you. So how are the things going in Israel? What's going on there?
Well, I can talk statistics, I can talk numbers, but people in Israel and I guess all over the world, they see it on the news. So that's less interesting. I'm not here to, tell you about Corona. You all hear maybe too much about it. I think that we should talk about the quarantine because this is where the challenge and the opportunity actually are, not the numbers. The challenge, the physiological challenge, we know what to do. Take care of ourselves is, in terms of regulations and keeping ourselves with a distance of 2 meters from people. That's less interesting to me. To me, the challenge is the fact that life, our habitual life as it is completely disrupted. It's changes. We are in unfamiliar territory. We're having to make new choices. We have to respond to a new reality. We have to be aware to be away of people that we used to like being with, and maybe even be away from people that we didn't like to be with but we had to. So in a way that distance is a big change for us. On the other end, we are close together with people that maybe sometimes we try to avoid by going to work and so on. So
Yeah.
so that's another challenge. And many of us are basically looking to government and authority to do the right thing. But government and authority will take care of the health, the general health of the population in terms of regulations. They will take care of the financial health of the country in terms of, who should get benefits and assistance. But I don't think that the government can take care of our psychological health, of our mental health,
Mhm.
of our emotional health. And this is something that the government will not take care of. If anything, some of the way that they handle the situation will make our emotional health even worse. So for me, the challenge is for us people, one, me, you, to take our own care of our emotional health and psychological health. And I think that this is part of what we do with this series that we offer to people in Insight. Let me see. I got some notes for me. So as I said, the biggest challenge for me as individual is not the virus, but it's the fear of the virus and the way that we relate to the virus.
But the virus is real, right?
Right, the virus is real. It's something that people can see, measure, test for, and so on. But so is our ability, I believe, to fight it. And one way of fighting it is through our immune system. This is also a real thing. So let's talk a few minutes about fear, okay? Because I think that fear, anxiety, panic is part of the problem. This is part of what is affecting us more than the virus itself. Um, we talk about fear and anxiety and insight and also in psychology in general. We basically can talk about fear from something specific. If I walk in the forest and I see a bear, I will feel fear. And this is real fear. This is a fear that is driven by a real thing that is outside of me, okay, that I can see. But a lot of time, fear and anxiety are coming from internal sources. So if I have an imagination of something that is about to happen, my body can respond with fear or with anxiety. We say in Insight that fear is an acronym. The letters FEAR stand for fantasy, expectations, appearing real. Because a lot of times, there is an external stimulus that is worrying us, or we expect something that is going to be out of the ordinary, but then internally we start what we call in Hebrew to play movies about it. We have scenarios, we develop scenarios, and those scenarios can be very negative and increase our fear. And then our imagination is basically driving our system to start sending, all kinds of chemicals through our body, and our body responds to imagination as if I am standing and I'm seeing a bear in front of me. So that is how, we as people are basically increasing our fear and making it even worse. When I studied psychology, there was a lot of interesting stuff about stress and prolonged stress. And this relates directly to our ability to the strength of our body and our immune system. I learned that prolonged period of stress, and if we are fearful for a prolonged time, then we will have a prolonged period of stress. Prolonged period of stress is basically causing our body to weaken. It's been the source of high blood pressure, of ulcers. I remember I was taught that when our system is defending or preparing to defend ourselves, it is sending the blood from the center of the body more to the periphery, to our limbs, so that we can run or fight. And that over a prolonged time, if our internals don't get enough blood, then we can suffer from ulcers, for instance, because our stomach is constantly being washed by small blood sprinkles that are washing the stomach wall. And if this is disrupted for a long period of time, then the acids in the stomach are actually starting to attack the stomach wall, and this is how ulcers will develop. So this is one thing that we can think about when we think about prolonged period of stress. Another area in psychology is kinesiology. People are showing how, with muscle testing, how negative thoughts can basically affect the physical strength of our muscles. So if you think about all of that, you actually see how negative images that are being run through our mind can have a direct influence, a direct effect on our physical strength and physical ability, physical immunity to fight the viruses. So I don't know if it's completely a fact of medicine, but this is the way I see it, and this is why I think, for me, that when I find fear starting to come up, I need to do something about it. We sometimes we say that there is two options in life. We can live life from fear, or we can live life from love. So for me, when I feel the fear, I'm asking myself, okay, how can I basically go to a different state of mind? Can I fight it by doing something else, by changing my thoughts, changing my attitude, doing loving choices? So that's some of the things that we will talk about. For if I look at the news and I see them talking about the numbers, I think it's almost inevitable that we will not start thinking about all those apocalyptic movies that we've seen, with bunches of body bags in the streets and everything like that. So is this the image that I want to hold? That's the question. I can make a completely different choice. Since it's in my imagination anyway, I can make the film end the way I want it. So here is a suggestion. I'll close my eyes and I say to myself, You know how the apocalyptic movies usually end. The sun is shining, the doors are open, everybody is running out in the streets, people are hugging each other, people are shouting in joy, and the war is over, or the war against the bacteria is over, or whatever it is. So this is my view on how to deal with the fear when it comes up. Our mind is a great tool. The mind is focused usually on survival. So as a tool that is focused on survival, it'll focus on attention on the things that we fear or we try to avoid, whether they're imaginary or real. This is why the fear is going inside of me, because my mind is saying, okay, let's protect ourselves. Let's do something about this thing that is about to happen, even if it's not a real thing, right? So here is where I can take control. I can use it for my advantage, because if the mind is so powerful in creating my experience, then if I think love, if I think compassion, if I think friendship, if I think contact, if I call somebody and I'm in touch with them and I look them in the eye and I say, hey, I haven't spoken to you for a while, this is how I will switch my internal feeling, the way I am, and basically strengthen my immune system, myself, my spirit, by focusing on the positive rather than on the negative. Let me see what else I have here. So your question is, what can we do, right?
Yes, what can
So
we
the
do?
most important is to set an intention. That the intention that I set will drive my actions. It will drive my imagination. It will basically be something I'm looking to, and I'm going forward towards that. So here is my intention for this period. It may sound corny, but how about I am about to make lemonade? This is my intention. Okay, I got a lemon. Now I want to make a lemonade. For me, the lemonade is to balance myself emotionally, to center in my heart, to take care of myself, to offer my service to others. I'm going to look and I'm going to focus on any small bit of positivity that I can find. And I'm going to prevent being, immersed in the television with all the negativity that is going on there. Okay? Now, some of the negativity is real, but I don't have to feed myself with that all the time. I can do, instead of doing fear, I can do risk management. Risk management is dealing with the facts and taking care of myself, externally.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is not risk management. Fear is just going into some fantasy and relating to that and living through that. My belief is if I keep focusing on my intention, even if I don't know exactly how, the ways of manifesting those intentions will come up. So since I believe in that, I keep focusing. I just told you what my intention is, and I will keep focusing on that. Maybe I will have an affirmation or a way, I will write it somewhere so that if I forget, I can look at it and see, this is my intention. My intention is to come out of this stronger, more loving, more connected, more with compassion. That's my intention. And I think it also will make me stronger in terms of being able to fight the virus just in case, if it comes to me. Of course, I'm saving myself in a way, in other ways. So the intention, the imagination can drive my fear. The imagination can drive my loving. And there are different ways of doing that. How many of your listeners are familiar with what we call guided imagery? In Insight, we do guided, you are, right, because in the seminar, we do guided imagery a lot of times and for many, many different things. So for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, what I would like to do is play with you. Let's do a guided imagery that will take us out of fear and into loving. So you don't have to, I'm not going to brainwash you. Don't worry. It's not subliminal information that's going through you. Let's do a closed eye process. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your mind drift into a calm place. Let your body relax. Imagine a column of pure white light forming above you, above your head. Now it touches you, it touches your skull and makes its way down, engulfing and protecting you from the outside. Nothing can harm you. You're surrounded by light. And now it is also filling your inside, touching your every cell, protecting it, even healing what needs healing. Now take another deep breath and focus on your heart, the center of your loving essence. And bring to your imagination someone you love, maybe someone you cannot be with physically right now. See that person clearly in your imagination. And when you see that person standing in front of you, is there a loving message that you care to share with that person right now? Maybe a word of appreciation, of support, or encouragement. You can do that now. You can say it in your heart. You can say it out loud if you want. And what do they tell you? Listen. Allow their loving to enter your heart and breathe it in. And now let them slowly fade in that column of light, beautiful white light, pure white light. Take another deep breath, and when you're ready, find yourself slowly returning to us in this webinar. How was it?
Thank you, Ofer. Great. Yeah, I feel much more now calm, focus,
Okay.
and open.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
This is
is
a direct way to influence our inner reality. It is one way to support yourself. And there are many other ways to support yourself in this situation. So I will now kind of go through a number of topics and talk about them one by one. One thing that I learned in the seminar is a great way to express my loving is through service. JR, the founder of Insight, said that service is the highest form of loving in the universe. And I'm touched, I'm really touched to see so many people in Israel offering their service in so many creative ways. One sure way to experience love is giving it to someone. Young people who had the virus and are now immune are rallying to support those who are at higher risk. The focus is on the loving. How better to spend my time? I just had a few hours ago a friend of mine who runs a school of sailing, for skippers. And he said, let's do a Zoom and I will teach you about marine safety. So, from 5 o'clock till 6:30, I didn't have to, look at news or look at the television or anything else. I just enjoyed being with 53 other skippers online, learning about marine safety. So it's just, you see so many. This is where our strength basically shows as people, because for me, a lot of times in everyday life, let's say in real life, there is so much animosity and hatred and you know I don't even want to go into that. But now when we are at dire straits, we see how the loving is kind of flowing from people and engulfing this community, and I think other communities as well. And we are so connected. We're just one. Sometime in the seminar, they were playing with the word alone, and they said we are never alone, we are all one, when you spread the letters a little bit. So we are all one. And it reminds me of the thing of service and being in this place of loving for others. Reminds me of a Mercedes Sosa song that the people in South America, if anybody from South America is listening to us now, "Yo vengo ofrecer mi corazón." It means I am here to offer my heart. And this is a song that they play in inside seminars in South America. So for some of us, having to separate from people we love, or even people we're simply used to see around, is stressful. People tend to huddle together in bad times. That's human nature. So we can now use technology to huddle, like we do now. We're basically in different places, but we are in the same cave. Okay, there's dark outside. We hear the bears, we hear the lions, but we huddle around the fire of our loving, just right now, here and now. And that's great. My routine before the corona was to babysit my grandchildren on Tuesday. So Tuesday was the day I was going to another city in Israel, and I could see them. And now, suddenly I have so much time, and so I can see them not only on Tuesday, I can talk to them whenever, and with technology I can like be with them even though I'm physically away. That's one of the opportunities. We're done with the challenge. We know what the challenge is. The challenge is that we are in a different reality. The opportunity is how we do the lemonade out of this new reality. So that's what we're talking now. Another issue is attitude. In the seminar, we talk about what to do with things that we have no control over. Well, we give an example of, what do you call it? Gravity. All right. Well, my English is not so good. Gravity, right? So what can I do about gravity? Gravity is working on me whether I like it or not. But the only thing I can do about it is I can maybe play with it, or I can make jokes about it, or, but this is it. This is what is out there. And a lot of times when we have to manage things that we supposedly have no control over, we can do a number of things. We can change our attitude. The issue is a lot of times, and that's generally in life, a lot of times the issue is not the real issue. The issue is how we relate to the issue. So our attitude about things can basically switch the way that we experience them. And that's one way that we can deal with the corona. We can say, well, that's out there. We know it's out there. So I can do things, I can do other things instead of being immersed in the fear and the panic and all of that. I can basically try to go out of that, change my attitude, say, well, I don't like it, okay, but what can I do to maintain control in my life? Not to kind of see that it's out of my control. That is out of my control, other than, taking care of myself and regulations and 2 meters distance between people. But there's so much that is in my control, so much that I can basically take control back, and for me in my life. One of the things in attitude is humor, and I know that there is a lot of humor going around, and some of the people that are listening will judge us for being humoristic. They will say, so terrible, how can you laugh about something like this, right? But some lightness and a smile on our face, maybe it's not going to change anything outside, but it changes inside. It changes the way I feel. So humor is one way to take care of ourselves, to open ourselves to that. Yeah. Jokingly, they say about Jewish people that we are very humoristic because we had so many opportunities and dire straits. The only thing we could do was laugh about it. Uh, how is it in Cyprus? Do you have a lot of Facebook and internet stuff going around?
Yes, a lot about toilet paper. About they even create a song with coronavirus. Krasimir was telling me some joke or so from Bulgaria. 10 euros for rent. Maybe you can say the joke, no?
Okay, what because I don't have the
10 euros, what is it?
And how is it?
In Bulgaria, they're joking about they're renting their dog for 10 euro because it's forbidden to go out if you don't have a dog.
Right, yeah. Well, in Israel also, one reason to go out is to have a dog. So yeah, maybe we will start this also in Israel. Rent my dog and you can go out for 10 minutes. That's a good idea. That's very
now go out 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of being creative. How are things with the children?
Well, it was quite challenging, I will say, at the beginning, especially because my husband, Krasimir, is working online, is working sometime at home or so. And the little one, Julia, 2 years and a half, she asking for a lot of attention. So it was quite challenging. And you have to all the time, give them some activities to keep them occupied. But it's great also to spend time with them. And like yesterday, we went for picnic. It was nice. It was a great experience.
Well, that brings me to choice, because for most of us, mostly the children, not having a routine is like the most uncomfortable thing that can be. Like maybe it's nice for a day, but after that, as they say in Hebrew, they start climbing on the wall. So here is the corona basically having us at home with the children is an opportunity to create an alternative routine. But we have to create some kind of a routine. And one that has in it not only the have tos, like we talk in the seminar, the difference between the have to and the choose to. A lot of us, our normal routine is filled with have tos. Things I have to do. I have to get up, I have to go to work, I have to take the kids here, I have to do that, And here suddenly we have more space to do the choose to. What do I really choose to do? And making heart-centered choices and keeping those choices, of course, because keeping those choices is part of our self-empowering, making ourselves stronger. So teach your children to make loving choices, for instance. Service is great. You can teach your children service. What would you like to do for, let's go on Skype or on Zoom, and you can create a play for grandma and grandpa, stuff like that. So they, at the same time you get them involved, you also get them to learn how to make loving choices and be of service to others. They can serve you. They can serve their siblings. They can serve the larger family. They can make make a meal for you. They can create a dance and perform for you. And for those who complain that the children are always watching TV, now is a great time, not to say, no, don't watch TV. That would be almost impossible. But it's a great time to choose what to watch, because now you are with them. So you are watching, you can make a choice of what to watch. And, for instance, if I would be sitting with my children, and if my daughter is listening now, here is an idea for my three beautiful grandchildren. I recommend playing the movie called Pay It Forward. I don't know who is familiar with this movie. It's called Pay It Forward, like paying money, pay it forward. It's a beautiful movie. It's really uplifting. It teaches about service and about responsibility. So we don't need to watch I don't know, negative or black movies, black in the sense of emotionally. We can use this opportunity to watch together with our children uplifting movies, and we can use it also to teach values after that, because if we have a discussion about the movie, what did you like about the movie, what did the child do, what was the effect of what the child did, how did it influence his environment, by the mere fact that he took a loving action, what happened to the children around him, to the people around him. So our children spend so much time in school, and they learn content, they learn material. I think now maybe it's an opportunity to learn loving, and compassion. So we say we are responsible. Yes, we are responsible for what we say. We're responsible for what we watch. I, for instance, watched yesterday a session of Extreme Makeover. Extreme Makeover, I don't know if you have it on your television, is about communities who, in order to assist somebody in their community, they will basically build a house for them for special need kids and so on. So the whole community gets together. Everybody puts in something, their abilities, their time, their effort, their money, and they take a family and they can change their life completely. So this is this good stuff that we can watch on television instead of some of the garbage that we sometimes consume. Another great balancing tool is gratitude. If you're into this work of growth and personal growth and development, you know how important gratitude is. It's a balancing tool. I can watch the half empty cup, or I can focus on the half full cup. So this is a time, an opportunity to express the gratitude for the good things that we have. Talk to people that we had good experiences with, good memories, just either internally or externally, or either with people or inside of us. Just take the time to be grateful. um, for me, it's just taking a better time with my partner. We are now together the whole day, and it's just fun. I'm so grateful. I can also take better care of myself. I can eat better. I can read more. I can connect with my son in Miami. I can connect with my daughter and my grandchildren. Sleep more. You know how important sleep is for your immune system and for your health. So now you can sleep more. And for me, I'm grateful because in this time I can create workshops like this, like the one we're doing now, and webinars. And, I can go and read some loving books and try to pick up ideas from there on some workshops that we can do about loving and communication and connection and creativity. So that's for me part of what I'm grateful for. And we spoke already about creativity. Usually at a very young age, creativity is blocked because we were trying to give something and it wasn't really accepted. we created something and, people looked at it and laughed. And then we make judgment about ourselves, or we make decisions about ourselves, either that we don't want to share or that we're not good at something. So here is an opportunity, to just stretch, and say, okay, now I have time. So if just, think about my limiting beliefs, my judgments about myself. Let's say I'm not good in painting. Okay. So if I find that I have this decision about myself, or judgment about myself, hey, I will take a paper, pen, and I will start paint because I have the time. So I can just try to rebuild my creativity in many areas where I didn't think that I can. There's so many workshops on internet. So if I want to do like handiwork, like create something, I'm sure on YouTube I will find 10 workshops on how to do that, So that's part of it. And children can do a lot of creative stuff from the internet. The last thing I want to talk about is this is an opportunity for contesting limiting beliefs and habits that I have. Because as I said, this situation took us so much away from our habitual life and basically shook us up. And a lot of the things that maybe we believe in as given are now contested, So this is an opportunity to rethink our habits, because now we can either create new habits that are working for us better. A lot of our habits have been established at a younger age because they were helpful for us. They kind of supported us or saved us from something or protected us from something. But now when we're older, a lot of them don't work for us anymore. So here is an opportunity to just, take sit with ourselves, think about it, and think of our habits, habitual life, what we do on every day as a habitual behavior, uh, emotions, thinking, beliefs, and take it as an opportunity to rethink, reconsider, say, okay, maybe those are not working for me anymore. So these are a few ideas that I had to cope with what out there. And as I suggested, it starts in here. There is not much out there. It's all in here. I will just, use a quote from Anais Nin that said, "People do not see the world as it is; they see it as they are." So when we look at the television, we look outside, we look at our reality, just remember how our influence is in making that reality, translating it, interpreting it, looking through our filters. Open up and try to switch, because, there is another saying that I like, which says, the big voyage of discovery is not in finding new places, it's in putting on new glasses. So that's all I had for now.
So if you had to sum up in one sentence, what would you say for our listeners today?
One sentence that sums it up for me: in the Insight Seminar, which is called the Awakening Heart Seminar, we offer some ground rules for the people to consider. We start the seminar and there are some ground rules, and we say, consider those as ground rules for life. So I can share with you the first ground rule because I think it's so important for today. It fits exactly the situation that we are. And the ground rule is, take care of yourself so you can help take care of others. Okay, so in the context of Corona, taking care of yourself by focusing on the loving, focusing on others, that will boost your ability to combat the virus. Following the instructions and the recommendations of how to avoid infection is definitely helping to take care of others. because if I'm not sick, I will not, affect or somebody else. So if you keep focusing on the light and invite others to do so, you are actually helping the healing of everybody around you. And that is all a good thing to do. That's a way to take care of yourself and at the same time to take care of others. So, as you said at the beginning, we have many, many more workshops, webinars, series of, one-to-one opportunities, grad series for the INSET graduates. You will talk more about it. But this is a way to take care of yourself. This is a way to focus on the positive, to be in an environment of people who are like-minded, focusing on the loving and focusing on the heart rather than focusing on the fear and the anxiety. So I'm just to finish, I really am grateful for you, Krasimir and Clementine. You are organizing Insight in Cyprus, and you're giving the opportunity to me to be of service to you. So it's you're always saying thank you to me, but actually I thank you. And I thank the Inside Global community, because the Inside Global community, since my first seminar, I felt Insight is a way of creating a family all over the world of like-minded people who are focusing on the heart and on heartfelt training. And, this is nowadays, because of Corona, suddenly we see people from Insight from all over the world in those webinars, and for me it's a great opportunity. So
Thank you for thank you for your service and for your loving. And yes, before I close this meeting, I like just to let you know about the upcoming events that we're going to have. So we're going to have a lot of workshops, and we're going to have live, we're going to have one-to-one coaching also. So you can subscribe. There was a link on the chat box. So you can subscribe there to our free newsletter, so you can have access to all the information. And next week, we're going to have Mike Connor, who is going to tell us about the antidote to the other virus, replacing fear by love. So this is gonna be, Mike is another facilitator. He was here in Cyprus for the Insight One. So it's gonna be great also to have him. So yes, I thank you all for listening to us tonight. And I want to tell you also that we're going to have an Insight seminar also on the 29th till the 31st of May in Cyprus. We're going to have grad series, also online grad series, if you are interested. So it's 4 weeks grad series, and it's about, Ofer, you can say a little bit more about the grad series, is better.
Well, the grad series is designed for Insight graduates who took the seminar and want to continue to deepen the learning, share how we are using the tools in everyday life, because the seminar is just 3 days. It's beautiful 3 days, and we learn a lot of tools. And one good thing about the seminar is that while we learn those tools, it's not just a mental learning, we are experiencing. It's an experiential education. But still, when you do something in the laboratory, and the seminar is like a laboratory, 30 or 40 loving people who are all going in the direction of growth and learning and upliftment, but still, you go back out to life, and life is life. So the opportunity of a grad series is to, when we go out to life and we start using those tools, to share what the successes that we had, what the challenges that we had, to support each other, to relearn some of the tools and make it a little deeper. And it's a great learning opportunity for us. And the grad series that Inside Cyprus are offering is basically open to graduates all over the world. Anybody who took the seminar is welcome to take the grad series. We would love to see you. I will be one of the facilitators of the grad series, and Barbara will be another facilitator from Israel. The two of us just finished one grad series, and we will offer another one starting on the 30th of March at 8:15 in the evening.
Israel.
Great.
Israel
Thank you.
time. Israel
Israel.
time.
It's Cyprus time also, yes. So, okay, thank you all for listening us. Also, if you want to know more about Insight, you have also insightseminar.org, the website. So thank you all, and don't forget, if you want to learn more and know more about the upcoming events, you can subscribe to our free newsletter. Thank you all for tonight. Thank you, Ofer, and I wish you a lovely evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.